Brought to you by WikiVD Documentaries. Hilary Duff. Hilary Duff is an American actress and singer. Duff began her acting career at a young age, and quickly became labeled a teen idol as the title character of the Disney Channel comedy series Lizzie McGuire. The series proved to be a hit, leading to a film adaptation of the series to be released. Duff began working on numerous projects with the Disney Channel, including the film Cadet Kelly. She later began work on an album, releasing the Christmas-themed Santa Claus Lane through Walt Disney Records. Upon signing with Hollywood Records, Duff began working on her second studio album, Metamorphosis. The album achieved critical and commercial success, topping the Billboard 200 and selling over 3 million copies in the United States alone. The album also found success in both Canada and Japan. Duff's success in both acting and music led to her becoming a household name, with merchandise such as dolls, clothing, and fragrances being released. Duff began to expand her career into theatrical films, with leading roles in projects such as Agent Cody Banks, Cheaper by the Dozen, A Cinderella Story, and Cheaper by the Dozen 2. She continued to have success in music, with her albums Hilary Duff and Most Wanted achieving platinum status in the United States. Following the release of her fourth studio album, Dignity, Duff released a greatest hits album and parted ways with Hollywood Records. During this time, she began appearing in independent films such as War, Inc., According to Greta, and Bloodworth. She later released the novel Elixir, which became a New York Times bestseller. The book was followed by the sequels Devoted and True. She currently stars in the comedy-drama series Younger as Kelsey Peters. She returned to music in 2014, and signed with RCA Records for her fifth studio album Breathe In, Breathe Out. Duff has worked with numerous charities and organizations throughout her career. Duff has received much media attention since the beginning of her career, with focuses including her romantic relationships, friendships, and her public image. Her romances with Aaron Carter and Joel Madden were often reported in the media. In 2010, she married former professional hockey player Mike Comrie, with whom she has a son. The two of them finalized their divorce 6 years later. She has been described by later Disney actresses as an inspiration, with artists such as Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez claiming they looked up to Duff and emulated her career. Duff has sold an estimated 15 million records since her debut in 2002. 1987–2000, Early life and career beginnings. Duff was born on September 28, 1987, in Houston, Texas. Her parents are Robert Duff, a partner in a chain of convenience stores, and Susan Colleen, a homemaker-turned-film and music producer. Duff has one older sister named Haley. Hilary was raised between Houston and San Antonio, the locations of her father's convenience stores. Encouraged by their mother, both Hilary and her sister enrolled in acting, singing, and ballet classes. The siblings earned roles in local theater productions, and later participated in a touring Ballet Met production of The Nutcracker in San Antonio. Increasingly interested in the pursuit of show business, the Duff sisters and their mother moved to California in 1993, while their father stayed in Houston to take care of his business. The sisters auditioned for several years and were cast in many television commercials. Due to her acting career, Duff was homeschooled from the age of 8. The pair also modeled for various clothing brands. Duff stated, "My sister and I really showed an interest in performing and dedication, and our mother was like, How can I tell my kids no? It's the same as kids that are going into sports. Parents support them and push them. During her initial acting years, Duff primarily played minor roles, such as her uncredited part in the Hallmark Entertainment Western miniseries True Women, and as an uncredited extra in the ensemble comedy drama Playing by Heart. The same year, Duff landed her first major role as Wendy in Casper Meets Wendy, based on the Harvey Comics characters.
After appearing in the supporting role of Ellie in the television film The Soul Collector, Duff received a Young Artist Award for Best Performance in a TV movie, a pilot. In March 2000, Duff appeared as a sick child in the CBS medical drama Chicago Hope. She was next cast as one of the children in the pilot episode of the NBC sitcom Daddy-O.
Her Daddy-O co-star Michael Chiklis stated, after working with her the first day, "I remember saying to my wife, this young girl is gonna be a movie star." She was completely at ease with herself and comfortable in her own skin. However, producers dropped Duff from the cast prior to the airing of the show. 2000–2007, mainstream success with acting and music. A week after being dropped from Daddy-O, Duff landed the title role of a newly developed Disney Channel series, Lizzie McGuire. Lizzie McGuire premiered on January 12, 2001 and became a ratings hit, with an estimated 2.3 million viewers per episode. Duff quickly became labeled as a teen idol and household name, particularly within the show's pre-teen adolescent target demographic.
Disney began marketing the series through soundtracks, books, dolls, toys, and video games based on Duff's character. The company reportedly made an estimated $100 million from the show's merchandise alone. That same year, it was confirmed that Duff was in a relationship with fellow teen star Aaron Carter. Carter later guest-starred in an episode of Lizzie McGuire with Duff. The relationship garnered media attention, with reports of a love triangle between Duff, Carter, and actress Lindsay Lohan. Duff and Carter continued an on-again, off-again relationship for 3 years, before ultimately ending their relationship for good.
Duff made her feature film debut in Human Nature, in which she portrayed the younger version of Patricia Arquette's character. Duff also starred in the 2002 Disney Channel television film Cadet Kelly, which became the network's most-watched program in its 19-year history.
Duff began making appearances on various soundtracks for the Disney Channel, recording a cover of the Brooke McClymont song, "I Can't Wait" for the soundtrack to Lizzie McGuire. She later recorded a cover of "The Tiki 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 Room" for Disney Mania. Upon expressing interest in a music career, production on Duff's debut Christmas-themed album began.
Santa Claus Lane was released in October 2002, charting in the lower portion of the Billboard 200 chart in the United States. The album was initially distributed through Walt Disney Records, with Buena Vista later re-releasing the project. It went on to receive a gold certification from the Recording Industry Association of America for shipments exceeding 500,000 copies. Despite initially only being released in North America, the album received numerous re-releases in the following years. Duff later signed a recording contract with Andre Recker of Hollywood Records to release future recordings. Though her early music recordings garnered much success on radio, Disney, Recker, and Buena Vista Records envisioned Duff appealing to a more mature audience. In 2003, Duff earned a co-starring role in the children's action comedy film Agent Cody Banks, with Frankie Muniz. Scott, founders of Variety, called Duff's performance "charming," and thought she was sidelined with little to do much of the time. The same year, Duff reprised her role as Lizzie McGuire for the Lizzie McGuire movie.
The film saw her also portraying the character of Isabella Paraghi, an Italian pop star who McGuire is later mistaken for. Duff recorded the original song, What Dreams Are Made Of, for the film's finale, which was later included on the film's soundtrack. She also recorded the song, Why Not, which released as Duff's debut single, though the song was not released as a single release in North America.
The song became a top 20 hit in Australia and New Zealand, becoming her first song to chart worldwide. The soundtrack to the Lizzie McGuire movie went on to be certified platinum in Canada and 2x platinum by the RIAA. Duff released her second studio album, Metamorphosis, in August 2003.
The album received mixed reviews from contemporary music critics, though it went on to reach the top of the Billboard 200 chart in the United States. The album became a major hit for Duff, going on to sell over 5 million copies within its first 2 years of release. The album sold over 3 million copies in the United States, becoming her highest-selling album to date and earning a 3x platinum certification from the RIAA.
The album spawned the successful singles, So Yesterday and Come Clean. While So Yesterday achieved platinum status in Australia, Come Clean went on to become her first hit in the United States. Come Clean was used as the theme song to the popular MTV series Laguna Beach and went on to receive a gold certification from the RIAA.
Metamorphosis earned Duff multiple awards and nominations following its release. Duff further promoted the album with the Metamorphosis tour that ran from November to December 2003. Later that year, Duff co-starred as one of the 12 children of Steve Martin and Bonnie Hunt in the family comedy Cheaper by the Dozen, which remains her highest-grossing film to date. Slant magazine reviewer Nick Shader wrote that Duff does nothing more than look perky and stylish. Lizzie McGuire aired its final episode on February 14, 2004, following the fulfillment of Duff's 65-episode contract. Despite reports that the series was in talks for a second film and further television spin-off, these plans fell through as Duff's salary for the proposal was insufficient. The same year, she starred opposite Chad Michael Murray in the romantic comedy A Cinderella Story. The film went on to become a moderate box office hit despite negative reviews. Duff's self-titled third studio album was released in September of that year. Duff was more involved in the production of this album than she had been in the production of her previous record, Hoping of Departing, from the image she had developed during Lizzie McGuire. The album, featuring prominent rock elements and drawing comparison to works from Avril Lavigne and Ashlee Simpson, debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and went on to sell over 1.8 million copies in the United States. The album contained one single released as such in the United States, which failed to chart on the Billboard Hot 100. Later in the year, Duff starred in the musical drama Raise Your Voice. The film, however, was panned by just about everyone and unsuccessful at the box office. Several reviews, however, while indifferent to Duff's acting performance, were critical of her vocals, a number finding fault with what appeared to be her digitally enhanced voice. Her performances in A Cinderella Story and Raise Your Voice earned Duff her first Razzie nomination for Worst Actress in 2004. In July 2004, a 16-year-old Duff began dating Good Charlotte singer Joe Madden, who was then 25 years old. After a long period of tabloid speculation, Duff's mother Susan announced their relationship in a June 2005 interview for Seventeen magazine. Madden worked with Duff on her compilation album, Most Wanted. In November 2006, Duff and Madden broke up. Duff launched her first clothing line, Stuff by Hilary Duff, in 2004.
The line was distributed by Target in the US, Kmart in Australia, Zellers in Canada, and Edgar's stores in South Africa from March 2004 onwards. In 2005, Duff had a starring role in the film The Perfect Man, starring alongside Heather Locklear. The Village Voice's Matt Singer wrote, "Duff plays her standard character, an introverted romantic who falls for a guy whose hunky exterior belies an artistic soul." That August, Duff released her first compilation album, entitled Most Wanted. The album featured songs from Duff's previous albums, as well as remixes and new material, and included their hit single, Wake Up, which went on to become her second single to be certified gold by the RIAA.
The compilation debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, and had sold over 1 million copies a month after its release. Duff later appeared in Cheaper by the Dozen too, which resulted in her second Razzie nomination for Worst Actress in 2005. Mike Clark of USA Today said, "Duff just looked like she'd rather be in a different movie."
Duff co-starred with her sister Haley in the satirical comedy Material Girls. The film earned both sisters a shared Razzie Award nomination for Worst Actress, becoming Duff's third consecutive nomination in 3 years. The sisters were also nominated for Worst Screen Couple. Hilary and Haley collaborated on a cover of Madonna's singles chart, Material Girl, for the film's soundtrack. Duff released her first perfume, With Love,
Hilary Duff, in September 2006. The line was distributed by the Elizabeth Arden Company. Initially only sold in Macy's department stores, the fragrance became available in Europe, Japan, and Canada, and was one of the 3 best-selling fragrances launched in department stores in 2006. That same year, Duff was stalked by a 19-year-old Russian immigrant identified as Max, and his 50-year-old roommate David Joseph Klein. She filed for restraining orders against the 2 men, claiming that Max threatened to kill himself to get her attention. She also alleged that he threatened to remove enemies who stand in his way, including Duff's boyfriend at the time, Joe Madden. Max, later identified as Maxim Myaskovsky, was sentenced to 117 days in prison. In 2007, it was confirmed that Duff's parents had separated following her father's infidelity.
2007-2010, Dignity, New Image in Television. In the midst of drama in her personal life, Duff began working on material for her 4th studio album. Duff co-wrote 13 of the album's 14 songs, along with writers such as Cara DioGuardi. The finished product, Dignity, featured production from Rhett Lawrence, Tim and Bob, and Richard Vishen, resulting in a dance and electropop sound. For the record, the album received critical praise, despite some critics noting Duff's weak vocals. The album was praised for its lyrical content and new musical direction. The album dealt with topics such as her parents' divorce, her breakup with Joel Madden, and the stalking incident during the prior year. Despite a positive critical reception, Dignity failed to match the commercial success of her previous releases. Debuting at number 3 on the Billboard 200, the album failed to receive higher than a gold certification from the RIAA. Despite the album's lackluster performance, it included the single, With Love, which went on to become her highest charting single in the United States. Both With Love and the album's 3rd single, Stranger, topped the Billboard Hot Dance Club Play chart in the United States.
A television special titled Hilary Duff, This Is Now was produced to chronicle Duff's return to music. The two-part project aired on MTV before the album's release. The series reportedly took 60 weeks to complete filming, and saw Duff both recording and preparing for the release of Dignity.
Duff began dating Canadian NHL player Mike Comrie in 2007. Following the release of Dignity and the music videos Fuck With Love and Stranger, Duff began to adapt a more mature image. Duff's new image inspired some to consider her a sex symbol. This image was reinforced by her appearance in the political satire film War, Inc., in which Duff portrayed an oversexed, Central Asian pop star named Yonika Babiya. The film received a limited release in the United States, and grossed $580,862 domestically. Duff recorded the songs Boom Boom Bang Bang and I Want to Blow You Up for the film's soundtrack, despite initially announcing a deluxe edition of Dignity for a 2008 release. Duff later confirmed that she would release a greatest hits album to fulfill her contract with Hollywood Records. Best of Hilary Duff received no promotion prior to its release, entering the Billboard 200 at number 125. It became her first album released in the United States to not receive a certification from the RIAA. The compilation included the single, Reach Out, which sampled the Depeche Mode song, Personal Jesus. The song featured provocative lyrics referencing sex, while its music video saw Duff both humping a statue and sucking a man's thumb. The song became her third consecutive single to top the Hot Dance Club Play chart in the United States. She announced to MTV that she would begin writing another O album in December 2008, but it was never developed. That same year, Duff ceased to have control over Stuff by Hilary Duff. Thus the line was discontinued. Duff had a leading role as the title character of the film According to Greta, which chronicled the life of a suicidal and rebellious teen. Her performance received mixed reviews. Andrew Barker of Variety magazine criticized Duff's child star approach to acting and wanted her to stay away from teen roles. However, Los Angeles Times critic Robert Abele wrote that her attempt to transform her bright-eyed wholesomeness into rebellious snark in Greta is a valiant one. Later that year, she co-starred as a narcissistic seductress in What Goes Up. Brian Lowry of Variety magazine stated that Duff's performance amounts to a near-adult role, yet labeled her role in the film confused. Despite having previously turned down a role in the CW drama 90,210 to avoid projects outside of the teen genre, it was later confirmed that Duff would appear as a recurring character in the third season of the hit series Gossip Girl. Duff portrayed famous actress Olivia Burke, who enrolled at New York University in search of a traditional college experience. Duff sparked a romantic relationship with male lead Dan Humphrey, and was later the center of controversy when the two had a threesome with female cast member Vanessa Abrams. Enid Porter-J of the LA Times praised her performance by giving a positive review to her involvement in this adult role. The following year, she won a Teen Choice Award for Best Female Scene Stealer for her appearance on Gossip Girl. In 2009, Duff collaborated with DKNY Jeans where she co-designed a collection of special pieces with the objective of designing a clothing line for women her own age. The collaborative apparel line, titled Femme for DKNY Jeans, debuted in the United States in August 2009 and was around for a limited time. 2010-2014, Marriage, Motherhood, and Other Endeavors. Duff continued to appear in film roles, starring in the ABC Family television film Beauty and the Briefcase. The film saw Duff as a fashion magazine columnist who wrote about her dating struggles in the city. The film inexplicably attracted 2.4 million viewers during its premiere. Following this appearance, she showed up in an episode of the NBC sitcom Community. She then co-starred as Raven Halfacre, the teenage daughter of a promiscuous alcoholic, in the drama Bloodworth, in which, despite not warming to the film, Los Angeles Times reviewer Sherry Linden thought she acquits herself well. The Examiner also wrote that the biggest surprise performance in the film probably belongs to Hilary Duff. Duff and Comrie announced their engagement in February 2010, and married on August 14, 2010 in Santa Barbara, California. In 2010, Duff set up a book writing deal with Simon & Schuster, published in October 2010. The first young adult novel to result from her and Elise Allen's collaboration was entitled Elixir. It was subsequently released internationally and became a New York Times bestseller. The following year, Duff co-starred in the Polish Brothers comedy Stay Cool, to neither much critical nor commercial acclaim a success. The independent film saw Duff in a major role alongside Winona Ryder among others. Devoted, the sequel to Duff's authorial debut, was released in October 2011. Devoted picks up where its predecessor left off and continues the story of the original novel. That same month, Duff alluded to working on her fifth studio album to E! In January 2012, she confirmed, through her official website and Twitter, that she had again begun recording songs. Throughout the recording sessions in 2012, Duff primarily worked with songwriter Ali Tamposi, musicians Matt Squire and Jason Evigan. However, those songs did not make the final cut on Duff's album. The same year, she co-starred in Rob Margoli's comedy She Wants Me, as a well-known starlet who enters a love triangle. In August 2012, Duff signed a deal with 20th Century Fox to develop and produce a sitcom in which she would star. According to the deal, if the 30-minute sitcom failed to work, Duff would be cast in a different show. However, this plan failed to develop. She appeared as a guest judge in Project Runway that September. Duff announced her pregnancy in 2011, and gave birth to a son named Luca Cruz Comrie in March 20, 2012. Duff herself announced Luca's birth, tweeting, "Welcome to the world, Luca Cruz Comrie. Tuesday evening. We became proud parents of a healthy 7-pound 6-ounce beautiful boy. We are overjoyed, and feel like the luckiest parents in the world. He is surrounded by so much love. Mom and baby are both doing extremely well." In early 2013, Duff guest-starred in the Fox sitcom Raising Hope, her first role since the birth of her child. She later guest-starred in the 10th season finale of the CBS sitcom 2.5 Men. Duff provided voice work for the animated film Wings, alongside Jesse McCartney and Josh Duhamel. She later appeared in its sequel the following year. By July 2013, Duff had finished filming the independent film Flock of Dudes, which moved into post-production in August 2013. That same year, Duff released the third and final novel in her Elixir trilogy, titled True. The novel serves as her final book release to date. 2014 present, divorce, younger and new music. On January 10, 2014, Duff and Comrie announced that they had amicably separated and would continue to co-parent their son. On January 15, 2014, it was announced that Duff had signed on to co-star opposite Sutton Foster in the comedy drama pilot Younger. The series is based on a Pamela Redmond Sutton novel, and created and executive produced
by Darren Star for TV Land. Duff was cast as Kelsey Peters, an ambitious 20-something who persuades Foster's character to work in a publishing firm. In April 2014, it was announced that the pilot was picked up for a series with a 12-episode deal and would premiere in the fall. The premiere date was later changed to 2015.
The show marks Duff's first starring role in a television series since her appearance on Lizzie McGuire. Younger premiered on March 31, 2015. The series has received generally positive reviews from critics and was renewed for a second season in April 2015 and a third season on January 6, 2016. The show was renewed for a fourth season on June 14, 2016. Duff attended the 2014 iHeartRadio Music Awards on May 1, 2014, where she confirmed that she was working with songwriter Savan Koteka and English singer Ed Sheeran. On July 23, 2014, it was revealed that Duff had signed with RCA Records to release her upcoming fifth studio album. She released the album's lead single, Chasing the Sun, and its accompanying music video on July 29, 2014.
The song entered the Billboard Hot 100 at number 79, becoming her first song to enter the chart since Stranger. The song's music video garnered 14 million views in its first week of release on Popular Video sharing website YouTube, making it her fastest viewed music video to date.
The album's second single, All About You, was released as the album's official lead single on August 12. It failed to enter the Hot 100 chart, but became her first song to chart on the mainstream Top 40 chart. Since With Love, it became a Top 20 hit in Australia, where it later earned a gold certification from the ARIA. This made it her second song to receive the certification in the country, following So Yesterday, 11 years prior.
In November 2014, Duff provided voice work for a Dora the Explorer special episode as Ice Witch. In February 2015, Duff filed for divorce from Comrie, citing irreconcilable differences and requesting primary physical and legal joint custody of their son. The divorce was finalized in February 2016. Duff released the single, Sparks, from her fifth studio album titled Breathe In, Breathe Out, on April 6, 2015, which debuted and peaked at number 93 on the Billboard Hot 100, and became her fourth top 10 hit on the Billboard Dance Club Songs chart. Breathe In,
Breathe Out was released on June 12, 2015. It debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200, becoming her fifth top 5 album. Duff had planned to tour in support of the album in early 2016, but announced in February 2016 that she would not be touring.
The album was, however, Duff's first studio effort to not have received any certification from RIAA. On the Billboard's 200 charts, it slipped from to 5 in the second week before falling to 34 in its third week. In June 2016, Duff revealed that she has been working on a new album. In contrast to Breathe In, Breathe Out, she said that the new album has a darker and heavier tone. She teased a new song via her Snapchat post, which was then confirmed to be titled, Tied to You.
Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVD Documentaries. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.